Hello everyone and welcome to Seattle Artist Spotlight episode 2. If you haven't seen the first episode with Spencer, go and do that. Please, por favor. It gets everything started. Has nothing to do with what we're about to do now, but it has everything to do with it at the same time. This is Craig Suede. He is a guitarist, a singer, songwriter. What kind of projects are you in? What do you do?
So the main project that I'm in, I front a band called Happy Heartbreak, happy sounding sad songs. So I write those songs and I sing and scream and play guitar. But I also support young Chiley and his music. It's like pop soul, really, really great voice. And then I also play lead guitar and do backing vocals for Dear Heart, which is like an emo revival, early 2000s, slow burn, like kind of post-hardcore, kind of like emo, post-emo band. And so I play lead guitar in that and do high harmonies with some scream.
Right? That's awesome. What kind of persona do you like to put on live?
So like live, like stage persona? Rockstar.
Rockstar.
But like authentic. So like Happy Heartbreak for me is all about having genuine passion and authentic connection through something that is real to me in all elements of what it is. With Chiley, it's like way more playful because his music's more playful, and it's just elevating his voice, elevating his sound to be more accessible and even more enjoyable than it already is. And then Dear Heart's way more just like, because I'm not the main singer, I get to just headbang and throw myself around and just like put a lot of energy out. And so for that project, I'm just trying to be as like present in the moment as I can and just use the stage and movement and sound and just try to put on a really like fun like rock show.
Wow. So it sounds like there's a recurring theme of you're giving your heart out no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Wow. What brought you to Seattle? Were you born in Seattle?
No.
Okay. And how long have you been here?
Yeah, let's see. I was born where you probably would guess, a small town in Indiana.
That's not where I guessed.
Born and raised Indiana. Yeah, so I lived most of my life in Indiana, moved to San Diego for a little bit, played music down there, and then I got up in Seattle probably like 4.5 years ago. To be fair, that first year I was still traveling a lot. Like I had a period of time in my life where I was just traveling as much as I could.
Would you say that you feel like you know the scene by this point?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know it pretty well. The cool thing about Seattle is that there's, as far as like scene's concerned, there's so many circles and so many pockets. Like I know some way better than others, and there's some I'm sure that exist that I know nothing about. But that's something that's so great about this city, is that there's lots of music.
How would you describe, not necessarily the whole year in review, but it being, the turn of a new year, how would you describe Seattle's current music scene? What's the good, the bad, and the ugly, shall we say? Or maybe two goods and two bads, not focusing on the bads necessarily.
Yeah, cool. Let's focus on the bad. Yeah. I think that the Seattle music scene is full of talent and creativity, interesting people. With that said, I think that Seattle, as a city, is changing so much. The music scene has a tendency to latch onto the ideas of what it should be based on what it used to be. And I think that's cool that Seattle has been a music mecca since the 90s, or because of the 90s, I guess. And I like that. And because of that, it's established itself as a foundational place for music and for the accessibility of music. With that said, I would love to see Seattle move forward as a music scene away from the expectations of trying to get back to the glory days of the Seattle music scene.
You see that a lot?
I feel like it. I feel like there's a lot of musicians and sounds and people that are rewarded for chasing something that is not necessarily embracing what is current or embracing what is happening. So I think the decline of the music scene is less about Seattle and more about just the overall decline of live music.
Yeah. So ultimately, you would just tell new groups coming to Seattle or forming in Seattle, be yourselves.
Yeah, I would say be yourself, and I would say that networking, collaboration, and community in Seattle works a little differently than it does in other places. Having come from San Diego and then had to do a bunch of stuff in LA, and then like the time I spent in Nashville and these different scenes that I've been, the way you go about breaking into a scene is just really different here. I feel like it's just way more casual. So it's like be present, but be there. I believe if you take care of the scene takes care of you. So I'm adamant about trying to go out to shows, trying to support your friends' bands, trying to support your friends of friends' bands, and trying to support bands that you just think are cool, or just check out a show if you have a free night. Go to open mics, meet people, go to shows, like just keep doing that.
How do you think this music scene is going to evolve or devolve in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, my hope is like super weird bands continue to be more weird. And I hope that the super accessible, like poppier sounding bands continue to push the envelope and separate away from just being commercial or just being accessible and start being interesting. So my hope is that it like the devolve, like devolving away from the formulaic and devolving away from the expected, I hope will evolve into just interesting things.
How do you see yourself fitting into what the music scene is becoming? You're obviously a great performer and you spend a lot of studio time. Do you see yourself just still firing hard at that?
Yeah. I mean, I've played music and written music and performed music long enough now that I have, this is gonna sound somber, but I've made peace with the reality that there's a chance this is as good as it ever gets. And I think that's important, or at least it's important for me, because if this is as good as it ever gets, am I okay with that? Can I be at peace with that? And the reality is, no, like I aspired for more and I want to do more, but I also have struggled with and have learned to be more okay with just like, I've done it. Like I've paid my rent playing music for years now.
There you go.
And as much as I like would love to be selling out stadiums or whatever it happens to be, or whatever the capacity for success is, which is different for different people, like I recognize that the fact that I'm able to do what I'm doing is already success in itself. And so I'm gonna continue to do what I've been doing because I love what I do. It has its ups and downs, but I love it and I chose it. And so anything that I want to complain about it was purely by my own choice. Going into the new year, I have plans and ideas for different approaches, potentially different projects that sound fun to me right now, and see like what I can delve into that could be something different.
So, as tradition in Seattle Artist Spotlight, I have a cover of one of your songs to show you. This is a track by Happy Heartbreak from the 2015 album Highways and Cityscapes. So, I don't know, to me, 2015 seems like a while ago. Is this like a golden oldie for you or something?
It is. It's funny because that particular track is an acoustic track.
Right.
It's literally, it was captured on 2 microphones. So it was a room mic and a vocal mic, and it wasn't gonna be on the album at all.
Right.
So it was like an afterthought. So we were done recording, and I was like, I have this acoustic song. It doesn't really fit, but like we're here, so let's just like track it. And so we threw it on kind of as like a bonus track, and then it's become, for whatever reason, people connect with it, and it's become kind of its own theme.
So, here it is. Bam.
It's funny. First of all, it's like really flattering. So thank you for doing that. Like at first, trying to like draw the parallels and like distinguish like, oh, this is that part, this is that part. But eventually got to the point where I was like, why are you doing this? And so I was able to step back and just hear the song for what it was, and it very quickly became something totally different. So I was able to let go of my own emotional connection and my own thoughts around what the song is to me, and then create new feelings around what this song, this version, sounds like and feels. And it felt very soundtracky, like you said.
If you haven't checked out the original version of Dear Brooklyn, check it out on Spotify. Really, the last thing is, how did we meet?
So initially we met because the band I play in, Dear Heart, hired a composer to do the string sections for one of the songs, The Inevitable Collapse of a Good Thing, or like
That's it.
Yeah, so it's the last track in Dear Heart's first album, Too Late Doesn't Matter. And it's like an acoustic slow burn, has this beautiful string section, and our singer Steve hired Seven to do like the scoring for that, and then the song like goes into like a big rock section at the very end. But that's how we initially met.
Right.
But then I would see you out at music events and do different things, and then you came and played horns with Andrew Kell when I did a Bruno Mars tribute cover set for an event that happens during Halloween like a year or two ago.
Those bands dressing up as other bands.
Yep. It was really fun.
So
So we like did Uptown Funk, and I had all these costume changes and threw out fake money. It was a really fun time.
Yeah. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Yes. Go out to shows. Go out to local shows specifically. Support touring bands, go see your favorite artists, but go out to local shows, find the bands that you like, ask them who else you should listen to. It doesn't have to be my shows. I'm wearing a Dirty Dirty shirt right now. We played a show. We were just listening to Action S earlier. I have homies in like all different scenes. So if you like want like dreamy psych rock, go listen to Antonioni. If you want something that's gonna be like drivier and like kind of punky, listen to like Beverly Crusher. If you want feel good sing along stuff, go listen to Young Chiley. Kind of like Americana punky stuff, go listen to Dusty. Dusty's amazing. A little bit more folk punk, go listen to Bobby's Oar. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. You probably already know Barracks if you're watching this, but Barracks are the homies, and Shayna's been killing it. They're playing Showbox for New Year's. Gosh, there's just so many things. The Drifter Luke, listen to him too. He's Americana. Anyway, go out to shows, ask people what other shows to go to, bring people to shows, just keep cultivating and supporting this scene if we want it to evolve and devolve and do all the things that we talked about. It requires all of us just to be there, just show up.
Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being the second featured artist in Seattle Artist Spotlight. Stay tuned, and yeah, thanks again, Craig. Bye-bye.